Atomic level organization. Biology is a natural science concerned with the study of life and living organisms and factors that affect them, including their structure, function, growth, evolution, distribution, identification, and taxonomy. It is very important that you understand what it is that you're about to begin studying. In your study of biology, you will delve into aspects of chemistry and physics, but only in the relation to life. Atoms are the smallest unit of chemical elements that can exist independently. They are therefore the start of our study of biology. Essential elements. An element is considered to be essential if, and only if, a deficiency consistently causes abnormal or defective development or function. If dietary supplements of that specific element is provided, and only that specific element, then the symptoms relating to the deficiency is prevented. The elements highlighted in purple on the periodic table are those essential for humans. Those highlighted in green are those suggested but not identified as essential for humans. Notice that fluorine is not identified as essential for humans, although in some communities it is suggested as such. Of the 118 elements in the periodic table, only 19 are essential for human life. Most of these are restricted to the first 4 rows of the periodic table, with only 2 or 3 exceptions. Other elements are essential for specific organisms. For example, boron is required for the growth of certain plants. Bromine is widely distributed in marine organisms. And there are some specific elements that are required for some microorganisms. Bulk elements. Most living matter consists primarily of bulk elements. These are oxygen, carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, and sulfur. They are the building blocks of the compounds that constitute our organs and muscles. These 5 elements also constitute the bulk of our diet. Microminerals. 6 other elements: sodium, magnesium, potassium, calcium, chlorine, and phosphorus are referred to as microminerals, and this is because they provide essential ions in body fluid and in the form of structural components of the body. In later aspects of biology, you will look at your sodium potassium pumps. You will examine the role of calcium in the formation of bones and teeth. So we'll see the roles that these microminerals play. In addition, phosphorus is a key component of both DNA and RNA, the genetic building blocks of all living organisms. These 6 macro minerals are present in the body in smaller amounts than the bulk element. So correspondingly, lower levels are required in our diet. Trace elements. The remaining essential elements are called trace elements and are present in very small amounts, ranging from a very few grams to a few milligrams in an adult human. One might be right to question, how is it that we know which elements are essential or which elements are not essential for human diet? Well, to answer that question, we'd have to examine the scientific process. This is a very good example of how science works. Scientists determine whether an element is essential by raising rats, chicks, or other animals on synthetic diet with acceptable levels of all elements except the elements of interest. So, what is referred to as synthetic diet is the diet will be very well controlled, right? Ensuring that everything that the organism requires or the animal requires is provided for, except, for instance, calcium. Ultra clean environment is essential. In some cases, plastic cages are used. The dust from the air is carefully removed to minimize any form of contamination. In extreme cases, lab handlers will be required to wear masks. If the animal grows normally on a diet that is as low as possible in, let's say, element E, then either E is not an essential element or the diet is not yet below the minimum required concentration. If the animal does not grow normally on a low E diet, then the diet are supplemented with E until the level is reached at which the animal will then grow normally. This level is the minimum required intake for element E.